Well, every year, hundreds of people die or are seriously injured when their cars go under tractor trailers. But there is technology right now that could prevent many of these deaths.
And tonight, our Heather Crawford is investigating why they're not already on every 18-wheeler on the road.
That's right, Anthony and Jeannie. These crashes happen all across the country. Take a look at these pictures right here of a crash the Jacksonville Fire Rescue Department shared with us. This one was deadly. It's a deadly side underride crash that happened a few years ago on Zoo Parkway. Tonight, what we uncovered in this First Coast News investigation.
Her life was just starting.
Roya Sadi had recently gotten engaged when the car she was riding in with her fiance slid underneath a tractor trailer. The 26-year-old died instantly.
She didn't make it to the hospital. Actually, they found her hair on the tires of the trailer.
This month marks 20 years since that accident, and not a day goes by that her mother, Lois Durso, doesn't think about her.
The tire of the tractor trailer shredded her door.
She says her daughter's death was preventable, and she's been pushing for a federal law to make sure this doesn't happen to anyone else.
I mean, I lost my child.
Roya died in a side underride crash. That's when a passenger vehicle goes under the side of a tractor trailer.
The engine and everything that's there to protect a frontal impact before it gets to a vehicle occupant is rendered irrelevant in a side underride because the vehicle just goes right underneath the semi-trailer.
This crash test video shows what happens.
And unfortunately, most of those crashes are fatal or involve catastrophic injury.
Joe Camerlango, founder of the truck accident law firm in Jacksonville, has seen firsthand the devastating effects.
In my client's case, it was a full-size pickup truck that literally went right under the trailer and came out on the other side. And you saw what was left of it, nothing.
He says these types of crashes can be deadly even at low speeds.
The first impact is the windshield. Literally, side underrides have been fatal at 15 miles an hour. It doesn't take much because there's no protection. And you know, in the impact of big versus small, that monster tractor trailer is always going to win.
But technology exists right now that can stop cars from going under tractor trailers. Watch what happens when there's a side underride guard like the one in this crash test.
In those crashes up to 40 miles an hour, we saw very low risk of a serious injury. We also then ran, just essentially to illustrate the problem, the test without the side underride guards, and you would expect a fatality in that kind of crash.
Matthew Brumbelow is a senior research engineer at the Insurance Institute for Highway Safety. He says while there are no regulations for side underride guards in the U.S., changes are necessary.
We believe that hundreds of lives a year would be saved by requiring side underride guards.
And the reason that those side underride devices are not mandatory is what?
It's just the trailer manufacturers and politics. Really, it's about money.
The National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, known as NHTSA, declined our request for an interview. But its report to Congress in June says side underride guards are 97% effective at mitigating fatalities at speeds up to 40 miles an hour and would save about 17 lives a year if all trailers are equipped with them. However, its cost-benefits analysis found it would be negative to the tune of $1 billion. The American Trucking Association says it would cost $35 billion to install these guards on all existing trailers. David Heller with the Truckload Carriers Association says there's a better solution.
Rather than justifying the crash like a side underride guard would do, the reality is something like automatic emergency braking, if it was placed on both trucks and passenger vehicles, and you're starting to see it more and more, that would go a much further way to preventing these crashes altogether.
Those in favor of mandating side guards believe the number of deaths attributed to this type of accident is grossly underestimated because only 17 states have an underride field on police accident reports. Florida and Georgia are among 33 states that do not.
Literally, the only way a Florida crash gets reported as underride is if the officer writes side underride in the description. That is it.
Like so many others, Roya's death was not counted as a side underride death because it was not written on the crash report.
We can't get an accurate count, and that's one of the things that the industry does is, there's not enough people dying in order to do something and to prevent underride.
While Durso has been advocating for years for a federal mandate to require side guards,
I think people will be shocked to know how many people throughout the country are dying of underride.
She also wants an underride box on every police report in the country.
People are dying every day because of underride. It happens in the blink of an eye, and there are ways to prevent it, but if nobody knows about it, then nothing gets done.
And you look at these pictures and you realize just why so often these are deadly crashes. Now, NHTSA this year started recommending that states collect this information on their police crash reports and in their electronic crash data systems. I did reach out to Florida and Georgia officials multiple times to ask if they plan to start collecting this information and how. I'm still waiting for an answer. In the meantime, families who have lost loved ones want everyone to reach out to lawmakers and urge them to make sure this data gets collected because they believe that data is what's going to lead to change.